This is another original called Bodies.
I've been looking at you, can you believe me? I love you. You've had your eye on me all the way from Timbuktu. If I want my hand held obliged, can make your night VPT and by. All these things I wanna ask, hesitate, pull back. Do you think about that night? See a value more than just external. Let's amalgamate the physical with some verbal. We could put the world to right. You look way too good to me. Closed eyes to a sea. We without bodies. Serotonin at parties. Is that you? I look perfect with the lights up, but my story's overdue. We without bodies. Am I me and I am you? Social circle linked to beg to deny, struggling to even find someone to rely on. Top of the world was dealt back in July. Now it's over, surely it's too soon to realise the majority of people stopped caring in June. When I was told shit the fan, there was a men's storm. I literally quite dipped out pre-drive before I even cried. Was them supporting me as a chore, thought I meant more. Seemed to want to think I was wrong, cause I fucking hate being sense of the formula. I find it paranormal to address the pain, cause I only lose, never gain. And maybe if I did lies, cause saves lives when it numbs the brain, but I'm fearful, so I abstain. Without bodies. Oh, serotonin at parties. Is that you? I look perfect with the lights up, but my story's overdue. Without bodies. Am I me and I am you?
So, I gigged as Jodie Findlay for a good wee while, and then I kind of felt a bit boring. I was kind of like, this is who I am at work, and I want to be someone else, want to be like my Beyonce, and decided to do Jodie SILVI. And the SILVI thing is a sort of ode to both my grannies. So my granny on my mum's side's maiden name is Sylvester, and so I cut that, and then if you abbreviate Sylvester to Sylvie, it means Lady of the Wood in Italian. And my granny on my dad's side lived in a street called Wood Place my entire life. So I was like, this is perfect. I'll just call myself Jodie SILVI and be done with it. And then, I don't know if you, I think you've all only kind of known me through just my solo stuff, but then I transitioned to a band, and we just chopped off Jodie SILVI and made it Sylvie. And now the band members left and it's just me, and I'm like, I'll just keep it as Sylvie, just for to not confuse anyone any further. So, as you say, language, poetry, storytelling, that's kind of where I feel I express myself best. And when I started writing songs, I always found that I got to the end of the song and it was maybe 6 minutes, and I was like, oh, this is too long. So then I started experimenting with sort of, rather than making 6 verses, just put everything that I wanted to say in 3 of those verses into a really quick paced sort of spoken word rap thing. And like what you're saying, I like artists like that. I grew up listening to people like Plan B, people like that just kind of like inspired me to sing and rap, kind of rap. I say rap loosely, but and I think the whole kind of like aspect of being able to get what I wanted to say in 6 verses into just 1 verse, you can say so much more in a rap than you can in a sort of melody, vocal driven thing. I don't know if I've explained that right. This is a song called Your Smoke.
You were the smoke, I was the fire. Let that be the end of it. You were the low, I was the high. Why won't you let me elevate? 'Cause I can't be anything but me. I've tried. Can't start any fires without a line. Can't get you out my lungs, suffocating. Can't scrape you off my tongue. Oh, I'm craving your taste is your smoke. Lights fires without the gas. I told you I tread on broken glass. Your communication resembles a shit game of charades. Pull me, play me like a card, the ace of spades for the hell of it. Make me delicate. My body pulsates from your bomb grenades. I should have walked away yesterday, but I'm still here today. The smell of it was too addictive for me to quit. Can't get you out my lungs, suffocating. Can't scrape you off my tongue. Oh, I'm craving your taste is your smoke. Lights fires without the gas. I told you I tread on broken glass. You smoke, you smoke.
There's a scene to the extent of it's a very tight-knit community in West Lothian. Once you establish yourself as a musician from West Lothian and you start going to all the gigs, then you're just welcomed into this community of people that are going to share your stuff, going to go to your gigs, things like that. So I think the beauty of West Lothian is even when you start out, you're sort of, what's the word? You're welcomed. I don't know what the other word is. Sorry, it's because you're staring at me. Just look at the Celtic poster. No, I'm kidding. You're sort of, what's it? What is the word? I don't know. You're welcomed into the community by everybody that's there. So it's a really good way to kind of network, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like networking. It feels like you're just supporting the people who are on the same sort of path as you. So I think a lot of people, for example, might go to gigs and stuff in order to network, whereas I think in West Lothian people go to the gigs for the gigs because it's a nice culture in West Lothian. We have only a couple of venues, so when there is a gig on and it's one of the people that's sort of your contemporary or whatever, like the bands you mentioned, it's nice to be able to have that sort of momentum of all coming up together. But I think you're right in terms of like it could be seen as the other thing that you said, like kind of lazy music journalism, because the way that obviously in Edinburgh and Fife and Glasgow there's obviously a group of up and coming acts as well. So I don't know if it's just more saturated in West Lothian because right now maybe the hype of Lewis Capaldi and there's a spotlight on West Lothian more so than what there used to be. So maybe that's why it's getting a bit more kind of publicity at the moment. Yeah, it's actually it's a really cool kind of cycle that's happened because the way that it was going to be one of my first gigs and now it's actually going to be one of the sort of latter ones later on in the year. I'm actually quite happy about that because it means I'm going to be able to practice, rehearse more, gain a little bit more experience of performing live, and then I get to take to this iconic stage that, like you say, it is a rite of passage. And it was something that when I first started playing little venues in West Lothian and people were saying, what's your kind of what would you love to do, what's your aspiration, it was King Tut's that I said. It wasn't like the Hydro or anything. It was like, oh, I really want to play King Tut's, because for me, seeing artists in those venues, in those intimate venues, is where I really, really get the best sort of experience from, because I like hearing people's sort of intonation in their voice, and they're writing more than anything, rather than just like the music really loud and maybe not as much their vocals. So I like that sort of aspect, that in Touch you could do quite easily an acoustic set and it wouldn't look out of place. So yeah, that's kind of, I think for me it's more so to do with the sort of iconicness of it, but also the size of it. It's a venue that I think I would like to play, but I am doing full band with Tuts, so that'll be one of our first full band gigs. And it was going to be, as we were saying, it was going to be one of the first gigs, and that was, I was peeing my pants about that. I was like, let's not do that. Can we change this here? But yeah, COVID sorted that out for me. So yeah. God. Okay, so my number one artist of all time is Stevie Wonder. He's my mainstay. So I would go for him. I would have to go for a Swedish soul pop singer called Leon. I think she's got the best voice I've ever heard. And then I think I'll chuck in The Police. I love The Police, and I've grew up listening to them. It's my mum's favourite band, so yeah, I like the aspect of The Police, that they have these really kind of high energy rocky songs, but then they've also got ballads, and I kind of take inspiration from artists that do sort of combined different genres, because I like doing high energy stuff, but I also like doing a really simple minimal piano ballad, and I like exercising that kind of like versatility, that if you can as an artist write those songs or sing those songs, then giving your audience a little bit of texture in what you're doing. So I think it would be those things. I think it would be Stevie Wonder just because he's the king, Leon because I think she needs to be heard by more people, and then The Police because I just think they'd like blow the roof off, and then I could just support them all. I'll just go on first. This is another original called Rain.
Don't do games, just set me straight. Communicating codes, collaborate. Buildings burning, don't want to tempt fate, but I'm starting to emulate how you operate. Checkmate, throw my heart around the room like a ragged doll. Bridges of a story, they tell it all. Realize being a couple, we would damage. I've struggled from amateur puzzles, save you the trouble. To you, I'm the weekend and alcohol. Monday to Friday, I have withdrawn. Wanted different things, should have known that's what young lust brings. In hindsight, we were never going to be queens and kings. Illustrious speeches, tell me you want me, convince me the way the Pope preaches. Fall like rain, part sense me yours. Fall like rain, yours reaches and it pours. Pick me up and throw me away. Don't wanna follow, but I'm coming your way. Can't breathe, but I don't want no space. Pick throw me, pick me up and throw me, pick me up and throw me away, and I'll fall like rain. Don't do games, I don't want you to be a part of me. Don't do games, I don't want you to be a part of me. Don't do games, I don't want you to be a part of me. Don't do games, I don't want you to be a part of me. Don't wanna feel, but I'm running away. Can't breathe, but I don't want no space. Pick me up and throw me, pick me up and throw me, pick me up and throw me away. Don't wanna follow, but I'm coming your way. Can't breathe, but I don't want no space. Pick me up and throw me, pick me up and throw me, pick me up and throw me away, and I'll fall like rain.
I mean, during lockdown, I saw, and I was even offered a gig that it was a sort of virtual experience where you did a gig and there was a green screen behind you, and then everybody from home watched on their computer but had their webcam on. And so it was essentially like they were in the audience in front of you and you could see them on screens if you wanted to look at them. And then the green screen also had all of them on the screen so that them watching could see them watching you play. And that was a bit trippy. I thought that was a bit... I didn't end up doing the gig, but it was interesting because they were charging people for it as if they were going to the gig. So I think there's that aspect of it. Like, there's all these kind of debates about Spotify and stuff and whether Spotify should just be a tool to find artists through the algorithm and not necessarily the streaming platform, because a lot of people think it's really... It's against what music should be to be charging so much money and giving so little to the artist. So I don't really know much about like what profits artists got from the likes of CDs and stuff, but I know for a fact, like, if I was to print CDs just now and I printed 50 for £50 and then sold them all for a tenner, I'd keep the rest. Whereas with Spotify, I put so much money into my recording and then I pay for it to be distributed and all that, and then I don't really see anything back. So I think there's going to be some sort of revolution with regards to what artists get back in terms of profits and what they get paid. But in terms of the technology, I mean, it could literally be that it's holograms or something. Like, you, rather than listening to it on earphones, they pop up and give you a show. They've done that. Have they not done that with Elvis? They've made like an Elvis holographic show. So there's that, but it could be even more accessible than having to go to a venue. You literally just put it through your phone and Elvis is and his life away. Yeah, and I think as well, technological advances, not only for the artists but for the people going. A lot of people I've learned from being on Twitter and like people just ranting about it basically. A lot of people go on about how it's really affecting their mental health that they're not able to get out to gigs. So I think the minute you're putting artists in that position to perform to a virtual audience, you're also obviously putting audiences in a position to not get out of the house and do it from their home. And I think especially maybe if we hadn't had the 2 years that we'd had, maybe people would be more open to that idea of, you know, going out during the day and then watching a gig at night in their house, like they would watch the X Factor on their TV. But I think since we've all, in this generation of everybody, since we've all experienced the fact that, you know, you're stuck in the house and you're not getting gigs, I don't think we'll ever give that up again. I think everybody who's been through this will never want. A lot of people have said the likes of, oh, I'll never turn a night out down again and all that. And I definitely have turned down a night out. I said things like that, but I forget the fact that I'm extremely introverted and don't want to go anywhere half the time. So, like, I've turned nights out down, but I don't think I will turn gigs down, because the amount of artists that I found in bands that I found during lockdown that I'm so excited to see live now. And it's all kind of, as per that announcement that happened on Tuesday, it's all kind of starting to, the ball's rolling with them. They're starting to announce their gigs. All the reschedules that were supposed to be months ago are happening again, coming into fruition. And it's just, I'm really excited to get out there and not just play my own gigs, but to see all these other artists that I've been interacting with, but also consuming their music, because like what we were saying earlier, it's so accessible now. And during lockdown, I didn't do anything else. Like, I didn't take up baking. Well, I tried and it didn't work. I didn't like start going 5k runs or that. I just sat in my house and listened to music and wrote songs. So that's where my solace was. It's where I think a lot of people's solace was. So it's Independent Venue Week. They're having it at various places across Scotland, I believe, maybe even the UK. But one of their first ones is Franz Ferdinand, so that's really cool. That's on Monday. And then I think they're doing sort of more kind of homegrown Scottish artists for the rest of the week. So yeah, I'll be there on the 6th of, the 4th of February. And yeah, to me, it's really important because that is where I consume all my music. I don't really ever go to the big venues. I've been, obviously, but primarily that's where I'm going every weekend. Venues like PJ's. I've never actually been to PJ's. It'll be my first time. But venues like PJ's, venues like Sneaky Pete's, you know, those kind of grassroots venues. The one where we are in West Lothian, or where I used to be, is like Midnight Breakfast Club, the Dreadnought, those sort of venues, and that's where I used to spend all my time. So to get offered a gig like that was really nice, and it's nice that it's the first one back as well, because it's not just celebrating like, yay, I'm finally doing a gig, but it's also celebrating the venues that have, you know, fought to stay open through these past 2 years, which it's crazy. It's literally nearly 2 years. 2 years of our lives, but we're hopefully back to business. This is another original called That's Not Love.
How can you look at me and tell me you love me, then watch me fall like crumbling debris? How can you speak to me and tell me you love me, but don't wanna be with me? That's not love, 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 that's not love. You dug your way out your hole, blaming me for things out with my control. Made me think it was my fault that our love came to a halt. What happened that night that made you lose your appetite? It was just skies. You would have contributed to my demise. These feelings for you I have to unroll. Why do you get a high from making me low? You turn the rain to snow 'cause you're so cold. That's not love, 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 not love, that's not love, not love, that's not love. Why do you get high from making me low? Why do you get high from making me low? Oh, oh, oh. There's no love, 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 that's no love, that's no love, that's no love, there's 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 no love. I'm gonna find someone I like just as much as you. They'll like me too, and they'll treat me the way I always wanted